So you're thinking about starting a career in insurance, and I'm going to go over kind of the basics of what you need to get started and the process that you should expect to go through. To become an agent, you do have to have a high school degree or GED to move forward into this process. So if you don't have that, you're going to need to go back and finish that, and then you can move into the insurance industry. Now, when you go looking for an exam, it's not as easy as just taking a test. You actually have to go through a course that will give you a code that will allow you to take the exam. And I'm mainly talking in experience to Michigan. All the states have different rules and guidelines, but overall I would imagine and I think that they're all very similar. And I've actually worked with some family members and friends that actually license people in other states, and it's very, very similar. Really the biggest thing is some of the unique questions that each state asks, which we're not going to dive into those specifics in this video, but they also go over the percentage of how much you have to pass. So first steps, have a GED. Then we need to get you registered for some sort of course. For the last 10 agents that we've gotten licensed, we've done ExamFX. They're really easy to work with. You can also use a company called Kaplan. Both of those are very similar where they're going to have more of a regulatory corporate version to them. So what you do is you essentially log in and you choose when you want to be finished. They typically only give you 60 days to finish the whole course, and then they're going to give you a certificate or a code at the end. The nice part about it is once you've chosen that time frame, it's going to daily send you emails and reminders. And if you're an agency or an agency owner and you registered somebody through your system, it's going to keep track of them and keep reminding you from day to day where they're at in their progress so you can help them move forward. It's a little bit difficult because there's PDF files and you're really just reading a lot of data. Some of the courses, if you pay the extra money, you can do live events, but they're not always around the time that you need. So you're only going to get 1 to 2 or 3 events in that 60 days, which can be helpful and beneficial. But if you have a lot of questions, you're going to find yourself struggling to keep up with the process. Now, if you're going in it to be in sales, you're a producer, as they call it, there's 2 types of courses that you can take. There's the P&C, which is property and casualty, and there's just the personal lines. Most agencies register you as personal lines unless they plan on you selling commercial. That's where that casualty part comes in. Now that casualty is a little bit tougher of a course. There is 150 questions versus 100 questions. So there's a little bit of a difference on pass. Now also the benefit to taking the P&C, the full one, is if you do plan on running an agency or you want to ever have a commercial department, then you're going to want to go that route. It technically isn't as difficult as that 150 questions because their pass grade is usually a couple percent lower. So you've picked your course, you're going to go with one of those companies or another one that you chose. Let's just assume it was ExamFX and you're going that route. You go through the course, you take something called a guaranteed exam, where if you get, I believe, 80% or higher, then they're going to guarantee that you're going to pass the exam. If you don't, they're going to give you a credit back for taking that exam, which is kind of a neat thing. Unfortunately, you didn't pass, so you're still not happy, and you got to go retake it. Well, you don't have to take the course over. All you have to do is get the sections that they told you that you didn't pass, and you research those some more. You've got 60 days to run through your course. That's why I always recommend try to schedule that exam by the second month or the first week in the second month, so 5 weeks in. That way it gives you a few weeks to go back and retake those exams if you need to. The part where I saw people failed the most was not writing the data down. When I took the exam, I did pass it on my first try. I don't know how. I feel like it's the hardest test in the world. I've never had something this difficult. But what I did that I think helped me a lot was we did note cards. The programs have note cards built into them. So if you're able to retain the information, then that's great. For me, it was more of a struggle because writing it down helped me retain it versus just reading it on a piece of paper. So from that spot, you're going to go take that test. Once you've passed that test, that's not the finish line. You still have to go online, and I'll link the website below, but you have to go to NIPR.com, which is the National Insurance Producer Registry, where you're going to register for your license. So you're going to pick the state, you're going to pay a little bit of a fee, and that's it. At that point, you're just playing the waiting game. It takes about a week to 2 weeks for them to process this. You can and will see the data online first. So if you're just trying to get that number to get appointed with companies, then you can check it online. But you're going to get in the mail your actual physical license. Make copies of that. Make sure you have it out so people can see it. You're going to need that to show that you're a licensed insurance agent. At this point, you've gotten that far. If you have an administrator, they're going to need that copy of the license so that they can get you appointed with companies. Let's say, for example, I want to go with AAA. I'm going to use that license. I'm going to fill out the application or the paperwork for AAA, and they're going to need that national producer's number, the NPN number, off of that license. That officially says that you are registered for your state to sell insurance. So the next step is for you guys to give me advice. Let me know in the comments below where you're at in the process and how easy or difficult it's been. I'm curious to see how well it's gone and where your thoughts are with this whole process. It is very in-depth. I know the test is extremely hard. It was designed to trip you up. They don't want just anybody off the street having the ability to just jump in and play with people's money and their finances really easily. We constantly have to get retested and take at least 4 hours of ethics just to keep our license. So there is things that you're going to have to do going forward, but if you're looking for a job or a position that's going to give you a really large income, this is a really great space to be in. It's never a dull moment. There's always some excitement, but there's a lot of challenges as well. So if you guys need help going through that, definitely subscribe. That's what this channel is about. Every Thursday, I'm going to try to give some sort of advice to agents, whether it's selling tips or how to get your license or what process I can help with. I'm Mark with Think Insurance, and I will see you in the next one.